Me and my friends start walking out over the sandbar and it is a perfect morning. This place looks just like a lake and I can't even see a single whitecap out on the horizon. We get past the super shallow reef to this first drop off and there is so much life here. I know we're gonna have a good day. I'm just hoping we can find some monsters on the other side of the drop. I had seen a moo on the other side of this ledge, so now all I had to do was get him to come over to me. The first step is just to hide my body and then I start patting and scratching the reef. You see how he just turned right around there? Now he's charging right at me. It's textbook. I just need to make the shot. And of course I miss. Everything else was perfect. It was really cool how you could see their behavior and how they were super attracted to that and he turned right around. But unfortunately I couldn't finish out the shot. But that stuff happens and I was able to smash this Roy to make myself feel better. You can see I'm holding him down against the rock with my 3-prong to prevent him from slipping off. Once I get a good leverage point on him, I'm going to work my way down the 3-prong and grab him by the gills. And at that point he's dinner. Either for me or for the sharks, I'm not sure yet. Now it's time for my friend to take a shot on the 3-prong and he smashes this huge Roy. It is a perfect stone shot right in the temple and that's how you take him down.
You're the man.
Stoner!
It's my turn to make something happen and I spot this huge Roy meandering over the reef. I line up the 3-prong and he gets a little sketched out and starts to dip away. And I hit him with the sniper shot. It felt so good to make contact with that guy because it was so far away. Only one of my 3-prong points hit him, but I managed to pin him down to the rock and then secure my point by poking it through his mouth and grabbing onto the other end. My other friend Brendan lets a spear go into this cave and it looks like a hit. I couldn't tell what he shot, but as he makes his way up to the surface, I see a huge Roy hanging off his belt.
Dude, great shot, right through the head.
Thank you. Well, let's go quick.
Yeah.
Jordan goes back down and lands his second 3-prong headshot in a row, and this one's an absolute monster too. At this point, we had each landed at least one Roy each, so of course it was time to compare. Look at the size of these monsters. We'd each landed some huge fish. You know, Jordan was being humble, but we could all tell he had the biggest one.
Dude, you guys have monsters.
The lengths are the same. The only difference is mine just ate. Look at this.
I guess y'all gotta decide.
Jordan was the winner, so it was time to chum up the loser's fish and see if we could bring in something bigger. Jordan spotted another big Roy and dove down with the 3-prong. You can see they're having a little bit of a staring contest right here before Jordan just snipes him right in the head and puts another one out. That is his third fish that he's hit with a stone shot with the 3-prong. He is on fire today. Unfortunately, the chum doesn't just bring out the big fish, it also brings out the big fish. I'm not sure exactly what kind of shark this was, but I am sure he was into us.
All right, guys, watch your backs.
Yep, he's out.
Watch those, especially us with the fish on our belts. I don't think that was a black tip.
What did you think it was?
I didn't see a black tip. I thought it was like a baby gray or baby Galapagos.
Yeah, black tip.
Okay, got it.
That shark wasn't leaving us alone, so we decided just to cruise back in. Jordan smashed another Roy on the way, and then we got back to land and compared the catch. A lot of the Roy we got this day were over 20 inches, which is really huge for the reef. I decided to go out on a solo dive session. I've got both the gun and the 3-prong, and it's another day of super awesome visibility. I spotted a Roy on the paddle out, so I dove down with the 3-prong and got ready to show this guy what's up. He's staring at me right here, and I line up my shot, and then he charges away and I take the shot, and I actually miss here, and he looks back to see what was tickling him in the behind, and I'm able to reload, and this time I smash him. Look at him wiggling as I pull him out of there. He almost got away from me, but luckily he gave me a second opportunity. I spot another Roy looking at me in the shallows, and this time I really take my time. This guy did not stand a chance. No follow-up shot necessary. I had just started my day's dive and already had 2 Roy down, so when I spotted this one in this cave here, I was feeling pretty good. I can still see him in the darkness there, and I really line it up. Smoked, and look at that, right through the head. Another great shot, and again, no follow-ups. I'm having a lot of fun smashing these Roy, but in the back of my mind, I'm still looking for something a bit more exciting. I think it's time to break out the gun and go after something a little bit bigger. I did say I was going to start going after some more exciting fish, but when you see a monster Roy like this, you can't pass it up. He almost tore off, but I managed to get down there just in time and secure him by the gills. I spot another Roy, and this is one of the most beautiful shots I have ever taken. At this point, I've swam about a half mile out from shore, and these roy just will not leave me alone. This roy ends up going on a run and gets himself completely tangled up on the seafloor. I had seen a bunch of roy around him, so I decided to swim back to my float super quick and grab my 3-prong. That way, when I dived down to untangle the line, I could smash a couple more of those invasives. By the time I hit the bottom, it seemed like the roy had pretty much untangled himself, and it didn't really seem like he was going to go anywhere, so I decided to just lay flat and do a couple grunts. I saw this Hawaiian hogfish and this little blacktail snapper, and then all of a sudden I felt like something was creeping up on me, so I spun around and I scared off this little uku. He looked like he's going to come back in, but my breath hold was so weak on this dive, I had to go up towards the surface before he could circle back. I was super bummed to have messed up my opportunity on that guy, and it was pretty much the worst time I could have gone and grabbed my 3-prong. Despite that, I was still feeling pretty great with this kui full of these invasives. I moved into a shallower zone, and I spotted this mu. It was a little small, but still great for eating. If you're spearfishing, mu will almost never come up to you. This is one of those crazy exceptions where the mu came right to me and gave me a perfect shot. And of course, just like the beginning of the video, I missed again. I was seeing a lot of roy around, so I busted out the 3-prong again to make myself feel a little bit better. Stoned him. That shot will definitely improve any mood. This roy here was giving me a funny look, so I hit him with the dive bomb. This little Mimpachi came out to say hi, but I was not interested. Perfect stone shot. Another beautiful one, and this guy is massive. I had spotted a big school of mu around, so I decided to take a drop. I hit the bottom and shifted my body into a crack between these two big slabs of coral and rock. I did a couple grunts, and I'm scratching the reef, and it looks like the school is a little bit interested in me, but they're not really coming over. This was in about 35 feet of water, and usually in my experience, mu really don't get too friendly until you hit about 50 feet. In general, everything in the shallows is a bit more wary. But I wasn't going to give up on this mu pile, so I took a deep breath and went down for another dive. The structure on the bottom here was perfect for hunting, a nice flat sand bottom to lay on with these awesome coral structures to hide my body. As soon as I hit the bottom, this beautiful little white tip came over to say hi. He was just a baby, maybe about 3 or 4 feet long, and I really wasn't too worried about him. I was just going to let him go on his way until I remembered that I was wearing a belt of dead fish. Even these little guys, I think you still got to watch out for them. I kind of kept my eye on him, but I was still hoping for those mu. He circled back, but I wasn't going to give him a free meal, and it seemed like he kind of knew it. Then all of a sudden, I see the big boy coming in. It looks like a Galapagos, and this one is much bigger than 3 or 4 feet. Now I got the 2 sharks to worry about, and I decide to just call off the dive and get back up to the surface. Fortunately, by the time I start my ascent, the Galapagos is already cruising in the other direction. Despite the sharks, I'm still interested in that big mu pile, and I notice that they've cruised right under me. The little white tip swims around behind the mu, and it seems like it actually scares the mu towards me. You can see this one right here, right above my gun, looking super indecisive. I'm on one side and the shark's on the other, and it made the decision to go towards me. I smash him with the roller, and then I remember all the sharks around me, and this fish is flailing like crazy. I start dragging him in as quick as possible, and you can see I'm watching my back. I'm just really hoping that Galapagos doesn't double back. Even that little white tip could be trouble if he really wants to eat. This is a big mu, and it's got a lot of power. It is not making it easy. I pull the fish back in, and once I get my hand on the shaft, this guy's done for. He makes a run right into my chest, and I'm able to secure him by the gills. This guy is a monster. Easily the biggest mu I've ever seen, and now I'm just looking around, seeing if anything's going to sneak up on me. I brain the mu as quick as possible so it'll stop flailing. Usually I would cut the gills of the fish right after I brain it, but in this case, I do not want that extra blood in the water. I look up, and this juvenile kahala, aka amberjack, is cruising in. My gun's not loaded, but if there was a spear in there, you know he would be getting it. I got the mu on my kui and worked my way into the shallows, and I hadn't seen the sharks in a while, so of course that means it's time to show off. Look at this kui, it is such an exceptional day of spearfishing, one of my best ever. This mu really was massive, and I feel so fortunate to have landed him. He's given me so much excellent sushi and poke since this moment. I'm just so grateful. Well, I do love any of the day with the cooey full of invasive roy. In the future, I think I'm just going to shoot them, brain them, and throw them back out into the water, because it is absolutely not worth having to deal with all the sharks trying to eat you. That might be a little dramatic, but I'm still not going to keep them on my belt. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all you guys who made it to the end of the video, and I hope you'll stick around for the next one.